Ford Chairman Bill Ford Jr. making a big announcement about the future of the automotive industry. Of course, this coming during the UAW strike. He just started. We're going to go ahead and listen in.
Learn about this marvel of American manufacturing. It is my honor today to introduce Ford's Executive Chair, Bill Ford. There has been no greater friend to the Rouge and its employees than Bill, and we are grateful for his leadership. Please join me in welcoming Bill Ford.
Thank you, Corey. Thanks. Hey, John. Well, thank you, Corey, and good morning, everybody. And thank you so much for joining me today at the Rouge. I wanted to meet here today because at 105 years old, the Rouge tells the story of Ford, the UAW, and America itself like rings on a tree. It's the living history of how we have endured every crisis the world has thrown at us and come out stronger together. This is where we build so many of our iconic models through the years. And when called upon by our country, helped democracy prevail in 2 world wars by building boats, tank parts, and jet engines. And when an explosion here took the lives of several of our employees, we got through those hard months as a family. When the pandemic upended our lives, factories like this one allowed us to turn on a dime to make life-saving PPE for frontline workers. A couple of decades ago, some executives wanted to shut down the Rouge. They thought it was just a rusting relic of another era. And I said no. Instead, we turned it into the most environmentally advanced plant in the industry. And as Corey said, today it assembles America's favorite vehicle, the F-150, and also the F-150 Lightning. The Rouge is the crown jewel of a company that still believes that building in America matters. Automobile plants like the Rouge have created countless well-paying manufacturing jobs and a thriving middle class. And they have become the foundation of our communities and the Midwest cities that we know and love. I want to be clear on something else too. A strong manufacturing base is critical to our national security. Building things in America matters now more than ever, especially in these uncertain times. And we can't take that for granted. In my lifetime, I've watched countries lose their auto industry, and then virtually all industries after that. Countries that once had vibrant industrial bases no longer make anything. They've become dependent on others for critical products, aspects of their supply chain, and even national defense. And today, as the UAW strike against Ford continues, we are at a crossroads. Choosing the right path isn't just about Ford's future and our ability to compete. This is about the future of the American automobile industry. The UAW leaders have called us the enemy in these negotiations, but I will never consider our employees as enemies. This should not be Ford versus the UAW. It should be Ford and the UAW versus Toyota, Honda, Tesla, and all the Chinese companies that want to enter our home market. Toyota, Honda, Tesla, and the others are loving this strike because they know the longer it goes on, the better it is for them. They will win, and all of us will lose. This is why Ford's ability to invest in the future isn't just a talking point. It's the absolute lifeblood of our company. And if we lose it, we will lose to the competition. America loses. Many jobs will be lost. So will future investments. We'll lose factories like the one we're in here today. And communities will suffer greatly. Now, I haven't spoken publicly since these negotiations began, but I believe I have a unique perspective to share. I'm the longest serving leader in our industry. I've been part of every negotiation since 1982 and have worked with every UAW leader from Doug Frazier to Ron Gittelfinger and Bob King. I've also been the most pro-union leader in our industry. On my watch, Ford is the only automaker to have added UAW jobs over the last 15 years. We employ more UAW workers than any other automaker. We assemble more vehicles here in the U.S. than anyone else, including 100% of our F-Series trucks. Many of our competitors moved jobs to Mexico as we added jobs here in the U.S. Ford is the strongest partner the UAW has ever known. These are choices we made, and it's added cost to our business in an industry that is extraordinarily competitive. But it aligns with my personal values and the values of our company and our history. We believe in building in America. Every set of negotiations has been challenging, but at the end of the day, we've always recognized that we're all Ford, and we will succeed or fail together. We know how vital the UAW is to the success of our company, and we want our employees to do well. We didn't wait for the current contract talks to create thousands of jobs or invest billions of dollars beyond what was required by the letter of a deal. And we agree that our UAW colleagues deserve even more. And that's why we've offered a record contract which would make our UAW employees among the best paid manufacturing workers in the world. Despite this, the UAW leaders decided to escalate and strike our Kentucky truck plant last week. Shutting down that plant harms tens of thousands of Americans right away, workers, suppliers, and dealers alike. It hurts the communities that depend on these local economies. If it continues, it will have a major impact on the American economy and devastate local communities. The supply base is very fragile and will start collapsing with an expanded strike. But it doesn't have to go that way. We can stop this now. And I call on my great UAW colleagues, some of whom I've known for decades. Many are close personal friends. We need to come together to bring an end to this acrimonious round of talks. I still believe in a bright future, one that we can build together. I still believe the automobile industry is a major force for good in our country. And we will continue to be there when America needs us most. Ford has strong leaders, the best product lineup we've ever had, and a talented workforce. This is an incredible chapter in Ford's history. If we seize this moment, it will mean jobs, profit sharing, and security, and growth and prosperity for all of us. But the price of failure should be clear to everyone as well. Let me close with this. After 120 years, Ford is still a family company. Unlike the pundits and politicians who've been weighing in on this conversation, this is deeply personal to me. When the TV cameras turn off, I'll still be here. I'm only the fourth member of my family to lead this company, and I always take the long view. I'm working for a bright future, not just for my children and grandchildren, but for the hundreds of thousands of families that depend on the Ford Motor Company. Those families are counting on us. Let's come together, reach an agreement so that we can take the fight to the real competition. And let's build a great company for years to come. Thank you all very much.
All right, that was Ford chairman Bill Ford Jr. And it was significant because that was the first time he was speaking publicly since the negotiations started. We have Paul Eisenstein with us once again with Headlight.News. So much to break down here. A lot of emphasis on us being at a crossroads right now. And I say us because I feel like everyone feels like they are directly involved in this. Whether you belong to the UAW, you know someone who does, or you're just concerned about our communities, the impact that this could have on the industry and beyond. What do you make of him 5 weeks now being silent, but then today getting his message across?
It was probably appropriate for Bill not to get too involved. He's a secret weapon that the company seems to be bringing out at a time when this suggests it does not see another avenue to meet the UAW's highest requests. Bill said it very interesting. Mr. Ford said it very interestingly. This is deeply personal to me. And I've been covering this business for decades. I've watched him go from a very low-level employee working his way up the company to what we now see as the executive chairman. He has been involved in a lot of critical issues that really would have been handled differently by other companies, including, as he mentioned, the billions that they invested to save the old Rouge plant. I think he is reaching out personally, and it'll be interesting to see if the response from Shawn Fain, the head of the UAW, and his bargaining team becomes positive, or if they just take this as another rich guy trying to save his wealth.
I love that you brought that up because they did lead that press conference talking about the Rouge plant. He also said some things about himself, and I think you'll be able to fact check these off the top of your head. He described himself as the most pro-union leader in the company's history. Given your coverage of him, do you think that's accurate? Do you think that's a fair statement?
Yeah, I think it is. Ford, you may recall, first got the UAW only after Henry Ford's, the founders, goons attacked them on the bridge leading into the Rouge plant, 90 years ago. So their relationship was quite acrimonious for much of the company's history. In the 80s, it began to change. We saw leaders starting to go for a better relationship. But I don't think it's been anywhere near as good as it has been since Bill Ford was first CEO around the beginning of the millennia and then moved on to the executive chairman role. I think that's an accurate statement.
We only have about a minute left, and I want to get to something you and I were chatting about even last week, and that is the competition. You have Toyota, you have Honda, Tesla is another big one.
Yeah.
And he spoke to that. He said they are loving the strike, and the longer it goes on, the better for them. How significant of a component do you think that is when you present that to the UAW and say, hey, for this reason, can we compromise?
I think the UAW needs to recognize that. I'm hoping that Ford has been open enough with the books. They've had a history of being pretty open with the union with their numbers. The reality is that this will raise costs. At the same time that Tesla in particular is looking at ways to lower manufacturing costs. This is critical for both sides.
All right, Paul Eisenstein with Headlight.News. Thanks so much for being on with us once again.
Good to be with you.
Again, you just saw Ford Chairman Bill Ford Jr. do that press conference. We are going to summarize that up for you, and we will have the latest on CBS News Detroit at noon.